Hey there, thanks for dropping by. So, when you think of it, an impulse response is essentially just a poorly shaped EQ, and it has nothing to do with your guitar tone. So, you still have to shape it afterwards in post processing and get rid of the white noise or the mid range honkiness or whatever. And it's a sonic frequency response of a speaker, but it has nothing to do with your guitar tone. So, you don't actually need this idea, this philosophy of an IR. You can just use an equalizer and shape your guitar to what you need. So before we get into the EQ cuts, I just want to show you something kind of interesting that I just learned like right now. I was only using one noise gate, right? And you can see right here in FabFilter that there's white noise just all the time. And I thought maybe I should just do a high cut filter and sweep that out, from right. But you can't go all the way to there, because this is where all the good stuff is happening, the 2 to 5K region. So you can't sweep it out. So you need a secondary noise gate just to get rid of that stuff before you can start doing any cuts. Because why do any cuts if that noise is just going to constantly be there unless you just completely sweep it out? So yeah, set a point in the high end region, and then we're going to do a high cut filter and drag this point down so it widens the curve. Drag it over. And now we're going to set another point right in the middle about and drag that over and widen it up. Now that pushed it out a bit, so I have to drag it back more as well. So I'm listening for when it starts doing any white noise, and it's just kind of this sound of a tss. And once your ears are attuned to that, it's like you can't unhear that, because most amateur metal guitarists, they're not used to hearing that white noise. They're not sure how to distinguish distortion like white noise from harmonic distortion. Their ears are not precise yet enough, and they haven't matured enough. But that's what you want to listen for, is that shh kind of sound. Get rid of that entirely. That's not good, and you want to delete that and soften that as much as possible. So the mid-range is where it's going to be the most preferential aspect. Like, it's going to come to taste. It depends if you want a scoopy mid-range like Pantera, Metallica, or just a more modern one, or like sits well in the mix and clear. And also the bass is going to depend on what kind of pickups you have and stuff. So this is the general starting shape, though. It's just 2 points. You want to get rid of the 10K from 10 to 20K region to get rid of that white noise garbage. And then you want to just boost out the 2 to 5K region. So that's where the guitar is going to speak the clearest. And other than that, it's kind of up to you to where you want to set the low end and the mid-range and stuff like that. So just play with it. Just dial it in to what your guitar needs. And remember to use 2 noise gates. It's really important. It's, for anybody, regardless of this lesson or using this technique or not, just use 2 noise gates from now on, because if you're using amp sims, that's terrible for your ears. That's scratching on your ears and really bad for you. And if you don't believe me, just open up FabFilter, and it'll show that there's white noise just going all the time. And it might even be like dampened to the point where you don't hear it that much, but it's still there. So just use FabFilter just to make sure that it'll visually tell you if there's white noise or not. So that's everything. Have a good day. Hope you enjoyed. Cheers.